We create our past, present, and future by Swami Satchidananda. The nature of time. Recently, someone asked me if one could be reborn at a prior time, for example, in the 1500s, if that environment were best for his evolution. This question calls for an explanation of what time means. What is time? Present, past, future? Is there really something like that? Is the past dead and gone? The future still not there? No. Your babyhood is past, but you are still here. Your old age is in the future, but you are still here. Past is not something dead and gone. Past is what you don't see anymore, because your vision is just so wide. To make an analogy, if your camera has a telephoto lens, and if you look through the telephoto lens, I may probably see only the face of Swami Hamsananda. That's my present. But if I remove the telephoto lens and replace it with a wide-angle lens, a fisheye lens, then what would I see? I would see everybody there. Therefore, when seeing only Hamsananda, were the other people not there? Yes, they were already there. I just simply didn't see them, that's all. So at present, I am seeing only her just because I am seeing only this much. To give another example, you're standing on the banks of the James River and you see a log floating. A couple of miles ahead, a friend also stands on the riverbank, and below you, a third friend stands. 3 people are standing on the shore, perhaps 2 miles apart, A, B, and C. You are B, she is A, and he is C. A log is floating down the river. All 3 of you have walkie-talkies. A says, "Hey, I see a log floating down the river." What do you say? You say, "I don't see anything." C also says, "I never saw anything." However, for A, the log is present. Then, maybe 10 or 15 minutes later, you, B, say, "Hey, I see the log here." And you ask A, "Do you still see it?" A responds, "No, I saw it." A says, "I saw the log, right?" And C will say, "I will see the log soon." So, to A, the log is a thing, a past thing. To B, the log is a present thing. And to C, the log is a future thing. But the water is there, and the log is still there. Thus, one and the same thing becomes a past thing to one person, a present thing to another person, and a future thing to a third person. And that's the nature of our past, present, and future. Time and space are eternal. It all depends on how much you see. For instance, if B, who's standing right in the middle, could broaden his vision, then he would see the log come in front of A, go through him, and then go to C also, meaning that A's past and C's future are B's present. Am I clear? Do you see this picture? In other words, the past, the present, and the future are just limited to our angle of vision. And that's how we function in this world. We see things only in a limited way. To explain it further, right now we are aware of things happening in the 20th century. The 15th century, we have forgotten, or we don't see it. But that doesn't mean that it's all gone. There is an eternal present if only we could have global vision. For example, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna saw only the battlefield. However, when he was given supervision, he was, in his present state, able to see everything that was to happen. And it's not only with time, but it's the same with space also. You see only the room you're in now, so this is the present for you. But at the same time, there are things happening all around you. And if you walk outside, then that becomes the present. So time and space are eternal. There is no past, no present, no future. But we create our past, present, and future. Thus, there's no going back or going ahead. Coming directly to the original question, you are reborn into a life to experience something that you have been desiring to experience. Therefore, if your desire was to experience the world of the 15th century, then certainly, even right here, you would experience 15th century life. Don't we, even now, find people who are not of the 20th century? How often we remark, "Hey, you're not fit to be in the 20th century. You are still a barbarian," we say. Yes, to that person, it is not the 20th century. So it depends on the experience. The world itself is eternal. It has all the experiences all the time, always. You simply place yourself in a particular situation, heaven or hell. It's not that heaven and hell exist somewhere else. They can exist right here. You can create your own heaven or hell. It's all up to your thinking. Centuries mean nothing. You can experience everything at all times. You don't have to leave one place and go somewhere else. Wherever you go, you carry your own imagination. If there is a hell in your heart, even if you go to heaven, you won't see the heaven there. But if you have heaven in your heart, then even in hell, you will enjoy yourself. Ah, what a wonderful place. Yes, it's true. It's all up to you. Thy will be done. We sometimes don't accept things. We don't accept that. In the overall picture, whatever has to happen is happening. You may blame people. You may blame Nixon, Reagan, Gandhi, Hitler, Rasputin. You may blame and praise people. But the one superconsciousness that is the cause for the entire creation is taking care of everything and doing everything at the proper time. We label that as good or bad, right or wrong. But what has to happen will happen or has happened. Temporarily, we can point our finger and say, he is the cause, she is the cause. And we do all that until we get tired of it. And then one day we'll say, well, nobody seems to be the cause. It all happens according to his will. Yes, we go to the altar and say, God, it's all thy will be done. Then the minute we come out, you, how can you do this to me? In the church, in the temple, it's easy to pray. Oh, without you, even an atom cannot move. But the minute we come out, we think, how dare you do that to me? Total contradiction. It's as though we're on a Ferris wheel, up and down, around and around. And then, when we get tired of constantly blaming others, we say, I don't know. Things seem to be happening, whether I want it or not. Then you begin to accept things. Otherwise, until then, you think you are more clever than God, that God must be a fool. Look at him. He created the world, and he is just quietly, comfortably sleeping somewhere, leaving the whole thing in such turmoil. True. And we, is it our bound duty to save the whole world? No. Save yourself first before you save the world. Om Shanti.